DORK Podcast with Rich Keefe. It's the DORK Podcast and Davey. It's the DORK Podcast. Hashtag. It's the hashtag DORK Podcast.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Hashtag Dork. It's Dem Thrones Boyz. We're back for episode 6, season 2, House of the Dragon. Keefe and Scheim. Davey will be joining us shortly, I believe. But Scheim, I thought for a moment there we might have ourselves a new dragon rider, and then we didn't, and then we did. So the episode did end with a dragon rider, but not the original prospect.
They passed. They played the old okie doke on you. You're like, oh, we're gonna burn this guy alive, but oh, don't you worry, somebody else is gonna ride a dragon today.
Sir Stefan Darkland was given the opportunity, and I was pulling for him. I legit was pulling for him. I saw he was very eager. He was like, dragons are gods. Give me a chance. He walked in there. He wanted to do it, and then I think he got a little overconfident. I think was his big problem. I think he got a little too close to the sun, as it were.
I don't know if he was overconfident. He was like slow stepping, like he's Sly Cooper avoiding tripwires. Like it's he needed to really kind of have a little bit more confidence.
Davey, what was the line? He said something like, I got this, or like I did it, and I'm like, no, dude, you didn't do it.
Oh, he's like, I've done it. Like, no, you haven't.
No,
I've done it.
How am I late? By the way, what the hell happened?
I don't know.
The episode just ended for me.
Oh man, you guys are waiting a few minutes. Sorry, my bad.
Man,
I was trying. It was a longer episode. I wanted to get it ripping here, but
get it ripping. All right, sorry. I was watching the preview episode. I thought I was going to be right on time.
This was I thought a solid episode. I thought a good amount of dragon action. They set it up. And we joked last week about how they really could have done a whole episode of people trying to ride a dragon and all, like either falling off of it or getting burnt or whatever. But they burned the one guy, but then twist at the end is Sea Smoke's out there flying around. It's like, I'll find my own rider, and then pins Adam Hull like right in there. Like, let's go, bud. And so now I like how the episode ends too. Rhaenyra hops on her dragon, Caraxes, and it's like, I'm gonna go investigate. So pretty good. Now, whose side do you think he's going to be on?
He's probably going to coerce into being on Rhaenyra's side, right?
I would think so.
Well, they're two brothers who like are trying to like one of them. So doesn't really want any recognition for being a son of Corlys Velaryon, right? The other one does. So he's got something to prove. So I think anyone who's going to give him something and recognize him as like an heir will probably get his dragon, right? And credit to Scheim, by the way, I will give you credit for last week saying that the Velaryons are potential riders. You did say that.
Indeed, I did.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's interesting because, like, I think if Rhaenyra is the first one to make contact with Adam, she's going to give him whatever he wants because she just needs dragon riders. And he is going to love the fact that he is now all of a sudden it's the Willy Wonka golden ticket. Like I've officially gone from an absolute nobody to a god in 2 seconds.
I wonder if he because Corlys is obviously the hand of the queen. And I wonder when they interact, I wonder if any part of them is going to be like, all right, well, now you give a shit about me because I can ride a dragon. You know, like I think maybe he's gonna be excited about it, but he might also be like, I've been here this whole time, dude. Like, well,
that's why I think he's gonna be super, like trustworthy to Rhaenyra. Like, because she's gonna give him what he wants. He's gonna love her, but he's gonna like shove it in his father's face every chance he gets.
Yeah, that probably makes a little bit of sense. Now we also found out that there is a dragon just flying about. Like, there's like a wild dragon, and it was Rhaena. I always screw up the names. I think it was Rhaena. That she's with like the little Rhaenyra's like youngest kid. They're like walking around and she sees like this whole fucking huge thing. And so she goes to the lady because they're like, oh, don't worry, you're gonna get out of here. And she's like, you lied to me. There's a big dragon here. And she's like, oh yeah, there is there for sure.
Oh yeah, it's wild though. We don't know whose it is.
So I mean, Rhaena's gotta be riding that thing, right?
You would
hope so.
Yeah, that's my guess. I would think that she gets that opportunity, especially because she has that line about like, hey, like you're not always cut out for big things, like that kind of shit. You're like,
and so she's gonna get like the next biggest dragon.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, because she was patient. They even referenced again. Was it last episode or this episode? No, it was last episode.
No, it was this one.
Oh, about how she couldn't. Oh yeah, Corlys was like, yeah, we tried. She can't do it. Like she tried, and it didn't work out. So yeah,
just hadn't found the right match yet.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
I don't think there'd be anything more intimidating in the world than going into one of those like dragon caves, like dragon pit caves, like walking down the thing, and then you're just waiting for it to pop up, and then it's like, hey, what's up, man? And then you're like, you serve me now. You right there, you serve me. And you're like,
That's their mistake. You just got to go up, give a little chin scratch, maybe a little scratch on the nose. Good to
I
go.
don't have any treats.
Well, it was.
Yeah.
Do you think he had it? He had it until he said like,
Yes.
"I've done it."
I think
until the
100%.
dragon was like, "Fuck you!" Like,
he did.
yeah,
Seasmoke,
like, you don't have shit.
Seasmoke looked at him. Seasmoke gave him a little shoulder and was like, "Here's my saddle." But the guy got way too overconfident. He's like, change your mind. I'm gonna burn you alive.
Yeah, we're doing this.
And then the servant that got burned alive was like, "I'm not dealing with this shit," and just called it quits.
He was ready for it.
Yeah, he was.
I'm gonna bring my knife.
in.
This goes south. I got my dagger, so we should be fine. The episode opens up with one of the Lannisters basically calling out Aemond. He's like, yeah, we're not going anywhere else unless Aemond shows up with Vhagar. So it is kind of classic Lannisters. Like that would be a Lannister thing to do. But we get a little bit more in this episode of Aemond trying to call the shots, and we're seeing sort of what a throne looks like with him in charge. And he's still not like, we talk about this every week, but he's still not like villainous to the degree of like a Joffrey is, but he is just like a young kid. He clearly he's more knowledgeable than Aegon is, but he's also way more of like I have Vhagar, so like I don't really need to be worried about much. Like he doesn't give a shit about anybody. But
no,
like the
I think
guy yet either.
And I think what Aegon was all like appearances, like he wanted it to look good. And he thought that he would just be like, you know, a rock star if he was the king and he could do whatever he wanted. Whereas Aemond doesn't really give a shit what anyone thinks. And he's just like, I'm going to do me. And if you're in, you're out, you're out. And they were talking to him about like the people starving. He's like, well, what do I care?
Yeah.
I don't give a shit.
He's like, it's not my fault. He's like, they like cut off the trades or whatever. They're like, yeah, but that's not, people don't think like that. They're like
all the more reason to blow up the blockade.
Yeah. Yeah. He's trying. So make sense of this for me. He decides this episode, King Aemond or King Regent or whatever he is, he decides to punt his mom, Alicent, from the council. But then he also wants to bring Otto back as his hand. So what's going on there? Like, I would have thought he'd either be like all in with those two or for whatever reason, all out with those two. Why is he kind of splitting the difference, you guys think?
Well, his mother's clearly questioning him at every chance she gets. And I think it's more so like it's one of these gender things. Like he's like, she's a woman. She doesn't know what she's talking about. Bring me Otto, who has been like a hand 3 different times and is a dude, and he'll be on my council and we'll go from there.
But also it's one of those things too. Like she says something about like having the indignities of your childhood. Like have you gotten over that yet? Basically.
Yeah.
Referring to like, she overlooked him too.
Mm-hmm.
So now he's sticking it up her ass too, as well as his brother, who always like, you know, kind of made fun of him and didn't take him seriously. And like, oh, now you want to be taken seriously.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's probably true. And also I love how like Clubfoot there is like trying to kiss his ass, and then he's like, yeah, dude, what am I, an idiot? He's like, I'm not picking you. He calls him a toad. Like, what a brutal
toad.
It's not gonna be my fucking hand.
Yeah, it's like, what? No, go get the fucking hand, you idiot.
He's like, your grace, this is what an honor. It's like, not your honor.
What are you talking about? Just go out and get the guy.
I'm an app. What do you think of an
Send a goddamn raven.
I don't want a guy who does feet stuff. Get me somebody else.
But then, so now Clubfoot sort of pivots and he goes back to Aegon, and he's like trying to work it out with Aegon, who again is alive, who is sort of a shock somehow, some way. He looks like Anakin Skywalker after dueling with Obi-Wan Kenobi and Mustafar, but still he's laying in his bed trying to cling to his last breath. But Clubfoot, is this the only path he sees? He's like, I got to get this guy back in power. Is that his hope?
Well, it also just like shows how quickly he turns sides. Like that was within minutes.
Oh yeah, he's like, this is
in it now in like back-to-back episodes. Originally he was with Alicent. He immediately turns on her for Aemond, and then when Aemond calls him a toad, he immediately turns on him. He's like, all right, let's go back to Aegon and try this again.
He's really struggling. So he basically in the triple threat match between Rhaenyra, Daemon, and whoever is representing the Greens, like Aegon, Aemon, Allison, whatever, right? It's like sort of the triple threat. They each have like a master of whispers with them, right? Like Daemon has Alice, who we'll talk about, like crazy Alice. Rhaenyra has the White Worm, and boy, does she! Hello, hello.
They did signals all episode.
Oh, big time! Oh, big time! I was just waiting for that to happen.
My wife, within 5 minutes of the episode starting, was like, "So they're gonna hook up."
Yep.
Yeah.
She's like, "There's something there." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Like they just like looked at each other. She's like, "No, there's something there.
It's happening." Oh, it happened. All right.
Oh, it happened.
But like those two, I think it's one thing. But then the Greens have Clubfoot, and I don't think any of them, like, they'll take his information, but like I don't think any of them are really like fooled by him either. You know what I mean? Like, so he's trying to play that angle, and like, so like as far as like the information people, they probably have the worst one. Like the other two, I think, get a lot more done. Clearly.
Well, so they could have the worst one if Alice exists. I'm still not convinced that she's even real.
Yep, good call. I'm not sure she's real either. But was it Tully? No, not Tully. Strong came in and was like, we did send our best maester or whatever, Alice, and she went and killed Tully, basically.
Oh, she definitely killed him.
Oh,
so so maybe she is alive because he at least referenced her. Yeah, because before, you're right, it was like really just conversations with Daemon. And Daemon running through Luigi's haunted mansion has no clue what's going on. He's talking to Viserys. He's like, the thing is a mess. He's attacking Strong. He's like, what are you doing? You poisoned me. But then Alice, so I think at least Strong, the big bearded Strong, he kind of confirmed to me that Alice exists. Now it could be like in a different form. Maybe Daemon is seeing something,
or a different person named Alice.
Yeah,
like it's just
possible. It's definitely possible.
Or she's definitely the one. If he's being poisoned, it's definitely her, right?
Probably.
Yeah, but like I don't think it's a poison thing. I think
it
it's
is
more so like an allusion to the fact that like Harrenhal is haunted. Like it's literally Luigi's mansion. He is being haunted by the ghosts of Harrenhal, Harren the Black, and it is taking control of his mind.
Yeah. Josh in the chat, he's like, Clubfoot's one slip of the tongue from being Mac and telling everyone that he's playing both sides. Like, the guys, I'm
playing both sides.
Yeah, guys, it's fine. They're like, oh, what? Yeah, he's gonna get got at some point. But let's see what else we got in here. So Daemon, I think Rhaenyra like made it pretty clear in this episode too. She's like, Daemon's not on my side anymore. And then it was White Worm's like, well, maybe he just disappeared. She's like, same thing. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, we
doesn't really matter. Yeah,
we don't have him.
Well, if he's not actively helping me, then he's against me.
Correct.
Yep.
Yeah. He's not doing anything. How about also the scene of before they went and we discovered the whole thing with Rhaena and that other big dragon out. She's watching the two little kids. And there's just like a little dragon hanging out in there.
So cool.
Taking a little snooze,
so dope.
curling up.
Little baby dragon just kind of hanging out. They're playing blocks. He's like,
yeah.
This is a good animal episode, by the way, because the Lannisters had a lion. Then obviously there's tons of dragons, and then Alice had an owl.
Yep. Like, fucking Harry Potter. Like she is like McGonagall. Like that's what she is.
But she has. So what's great about her, and I finally figured it out. Did you guys watch Glow?
Yes.
The women, she's
wrestling
Sheila, the She-Wolf
ladies of wrestling.
So remember the big one who like never talks, Sheila, the She-Wolf.
Oh yeah, like the
that's
wolf?
her. That's Alice.
No shit.
I had that like an intense look at
makeup around her eyes.
Yeah, and yeah, that's her.
Oh, nice.
Interesting.
Oh, and the dog was back.
I thought the guy was going to eat him.
Yeah,
that would have been sad.
He didn't though.
I bet he thought about it.
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
Oh, so speaking of that guy, so the guy that we saw in the pub, they're definitely kind of laying the groundwork there. Like, is he now? I thought for sure he might end up riding Sea Smoke, but we end up getting the Sea Smoke rider in Adam. But will he? Because there's another dragon too that they have, right? Because they're trying to get multiple people to fly some of these dragons. Is that where that's headed with that whole storyline with that guy? Because remember, he was the one that was like, I'm related to the Viserys and Daemon.
So is it that, or is it just a way for them to show like the common folk and the struggle that they're going through with the Greens in charge?
No, but why that guy again, right?
Yeah, but they also showed the Smith guy again too when he punched the dude in the face and took his cabbages.
That's true.
True. But I think we need another dragon rider, I think.
Because it was like, it's way too convenient, it feels like, for it to be him. And then, like, clearly that woman was the worm's plant and to go get people riled up and ready for when the food was delivered. Like, it seems too convenient that he also is like related to the Targaryens and is going to ride a dragon.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Great plan, by the way, by the White Worm and Rhaenyra. That couldn't have worked out any better. People, and then like Alicent and her daughter almost get like the shit kicked out of them while they're on the streets.
Yep.
They got like fish guts thrown at her face.
That dude, his yell when he got his hand chopped off, all time. That was like Monty Python level bad. It was so good.
That was tough though. I mean, you lose a hand trying to protect the queen or the queen consort. Oh, also at the beginning of the episode, an idea that I hadn't thought of. They're trying to strengthen their houses as they always do. That's always the name of the game. And they haven't heard back from the Greyjoys yet. And they were like, well, what about if we propose a marriage to Alicent? And she's like, absolutely not. And
Go fuck yourself.
I already fucking did that. Look at the mess I'm in now. I already played that game. And then Kristen Cole's like, huh? But I wonder if that's another thing that they could play. Like, I think if Aemon remains in charge, or even if Otto comes back, they don't really care about her. Like they're the ones that set her up with Viserys when she was like 14.
I don't give a shit. Yeah.
Well, we saw that same thing play out in Game of Thrones with Cersei, right? It's like her husbands are now dead, and it's like, oh yeah, you're gonna go marry Loras Tyrell, and she's like, fuck, no, I'm not.
Yeah. No, I wonder if that's at least a card, because they've referenced the Greyjoys now a few times. They even referenced the sigil, right? They said something about like the octopus, like looking out for that guy,
the
or
Red Kraken. Yeah.
The Red Kraken. So you're like, all right, we're still waiting on him. And I don't know.
They also said that they're going to wait to see who this favors. That they're going to wait to see how it plays out before they make a decision.
Also, kind of a classic Greyjoy thing. So like the Lannister thing, and then the Greyjoy thing. They're not going to pick a side until there's a winner to be had. We get another shot of Gwaine. We get more Gwaine this episode.
But it was great because, they mentioned the other son. There is another son.
Yes. So what's that? Alicent. So Alicent and Viserys had 3 sons and 1 daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So the oldest son married the daughter.
Yep.
And then so you have Aegon, Aemond, and then what was it? Darian or whatever his name was?
Darren, yeah.
Darren. Yeah.
Daeron.
He's kind. What the guy said.
Nice.
Well,
that's gonna work.
Yeah. Normally doesn't.
Kind
ones don't last very long.
Yeah.
Well, so I don't know if we only have 2 more episodes this season. I don't think we're gonna get him this season, but I bet they're setting that up for next season, don't you think?
Probably. It's like, or he'll just die, like some of the other children have died, like the Rickons of the world.
That's true.
Running straight lines. I'm just laughing at what Josh said in the chat. Gwaine the bathtub, I'm gwowning.
Yes, you certainly could have. Now, this is something that popped up on Twitter this week, and I'm going to pull it up here. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll be able to see this bad boy, this fantastic graphic. How can I get this graphic bigger? Is there a way to get it bigger? Nope, that's smaller.
That didn't help.
By bigger, of course, I mean smaller. Let me move.
Well, I mean, you can see it enough.
You can talk about it. So basically what it is, and we tweeted it out at Dork Podcast. Oh, here, let me move this because it's in the way of everybody. So basically it is a dragon or wyvern chart, and it's got wyverns from both House of the Dragon, Game of Thrones, and then just also like lore. And so there's 3 dragons on the left, and then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's 10 total dragons on here, and it's kind of showing you how big they are. So Vhagar is the biggest, baddest bitch on the block, and looks to be on this thing the second biggest dragon behind an absolute hoss named Balerion.
They called him Balerion the Dread.
Balerion the Dread, who's a black dragon who spits black fire with like a little bit of red in it. And I was reading up on this, and they're like, when he would fly, he like with his wings extended, he would cast a shadow over like entire towns. He's like he's bigger than Vhagar. He's
the literal Death Star of Game of Thrones.
Yes. And so basically he was Viserys's father's dragon, maybe.
So no, Balerion was Aegon the Conqueror's dragon.
Okay, Aegon
When they came over and took over Westeros, Balerion was Aegon's dragon.
Unreal. And apparently his big skull is in like Game of Thrones. Remember the season like 7 and 8? There's a few times where they stumble upon like a massive dragon like skeleton, and that's Balerion. Below Vhagar is Vermithor.
Vermithor, yeah. So
any clue?
it's been mentioned a couple times. Rhaenyra has mentioned specifically that Vermithor doesn't have a rider. So my assumption is Vermithor is the dragon in the Vale. Burning shit up because it has to be a big dragon, and which means it's probably bigger than Meleys, and the only one that we know of, at least in existence, that's bigger than Meleys that doesn't have a rider would be Vermithor.
So you think Rhaena is the one that's going to hopefully get on Vermithor?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Because if they have Syrax, Sea Smoke, and Caraxes, that's still not going to get it done.
No, it is not.
Because if you're looking at the chart we're looking at, those are the three smallest dragons right now.
Yeah. Out of these 10 is the 3 smallest. So so you have the huge hosses on the left, and then on the right, the biggest one is Dreamfire,
which was Aegon's dragon, which I think is dead now, right?
Oh, yes, that's a big dragon. So yeah, I think it is. Oh yeah, that was the one that they paraded through the town, right?
No, that was Meleys.
That was Meleys.
Obviously, yeah, that was Meleys. But I think they both was like a double KO. I think they're both probably out.
Correct. Yeah, because Dreamfire, like in that scene where Aemond is standing over Aegon, like I think Dreamfire is dead behind Aegon.
Yes. Got it. Okay, so Dreamfire and Meleys were both pretty big dragons. They are the top 2 on the right side of this graphic we're looking at. The third one down, just smaller than Meleys, is Drogon, who was Game of Thrones.
Correct.
The Khaleesi's dragon.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That was her biggest dragon.
One of her 3 dragons. Yeah. And then Rhaegal is the next one. Was that also one of Khaleesi's?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
She had Drogon, Rhaegal, and Viserion. Viserion's not on here because I assume it died and became like the zombie dragon, so they don't count it.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. But they were kind of similar size, just like from recollection of watching the show.
But Rhaegal became Jon Snow's dragon, right?
Well, he technically never rode a dragon. I don't think in this show.
He said, "Ride the snake." And then you have Caraxes, who is Rhaenyra's dragon. Then Sea Smoke, who now appears to be Adam's dragon, and then Syrax. Is that Jace's dragon?
Yes.
Caraxes. I thought Caraxes was Daemon's dragon, and Syrax was Rhaenyra's.
Oh, you might be right. Just Daemon and Caraxes. God damn it.
Let's see.
What's the name?
Looking it up.
Because his dragon's red, so that's the real.
Yeah. So yes, Caraxes is Daemon's dragon.
Oh, good call. All right.
And Syrax is Rhaenyra's dragon.
All right. So Jason.
Syrax is from Mortal Kombat. Yeah, it's Rhaenyra's dragon.
He would throw a net at you. He was like a robot scorpion.
And correction, Dreamfire is not Aegon's dragon. I believe it's his wife's dragon.
Oh, the one that blew her up.
Aegon had Sunfire.
And
then I believe Helena has Dreamfire, but I don't think she actually like rides it. I think she just has it.
Just to immolate her
so
towards the end of her life.
So is Dreamfire still alive?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And I think that's why Sunfire isn't on the graphic, because Sunfire is toast.
Got it.
Give me some Vermithor, though. I need to see some Vermithor.
Yeah, we absolutely need to see
gotta get Vermithor. Vhagar's just so intimidating right now. I think they're making like side shows, and they're making like another prequel series. They should just do like a Balerion show, like just Balerion, just like wiping people out. There doesn't even need to be dialogue in the whole show. Just Balerion hopping about, burning cities.
The Trogdor, the Burninator. That's an old school internet reference, but yeah,
I'd watch that. So anyway, there's some of your dragons. Was there enough dragons? Not enough dragons? Right amount of dragons this episode?
I'd say just enough. I'd say right amount of dragons. There was a solid amount of dragons. We saw cook somebody alive, chase down Adam, and a little baby dragon in the room. I say just enough dragon.
I want more now because of the other episode was so good. Like 2 episodes ago was so good, and we've had to kind of like more. And again, 7 is going to be the banger episode. 8's going to set up the next one. So I'm excited for this, but also like, can we fucking step on it, please?
So to me, I think there was enough this episode because it does set up what should be an insane episode next week.
Yeah.
Because now they reference this like mystery huge dragon, which we think is Vermithor, but whatever. So they reference that. They're kind of pushing it there. Sea Smoke now is going to have a rider and have to choose sides. You see like the little baby dragons. I think Damon's getting a little restless. Rhaenyra has been fucking so restless, and she just hopped on her dragon at the end of the episode and takes off. So I think there's going to be just dragon on dragon on dragon in this next episode, and it's going to be pretty chaotic. Also, I think the High Towers are in quite a predicament right now too, because like is Otto coming in? Are they going to
Otto even alive? He isn't responding.
They don't know if he's alive.
Messages. You don't even know if he's alive.
Yeah, good point. He's like in hiding.
That would be lame if he died off screen, though. That would be kind of lame.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's unlikely.
Unless they bring his head back. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's proof. This is proof.
Yeah. But like, I don't know who would kill. Like, who? I don't know that anybody really has motive to kill him right now, right?
Well,
like,
they do now. Now that like everyone's going full Rhaenyra in the town.
Now they do, but at the time they really didn't, right? Because Alicent wants him alive. Aemon didn't want to kill him. Clearly, he wants to bring him back. Aegon never wanted to kill him. He just wanted him out of his fucking keep and stop telling him what to do. And so, like, and I don't think Kristen Cole would kill him either, because it's Alicent's father. So it's like I can't just determine anybody that would actually want him dead at this point. So he has to come back eventually, is my guess.
Out of basically the three sides that are out there right now, who is the strongest and who is the weakest? Meaning, like, if they just right now all of a sudden decided to do an all-out war, keeping in mind like who has what houses, who has what areas, where like the public is, who has the dragons, maybe most importantly, straight fight right now, who wins?
Well, I gotta believe with the confirmed help, because they keep talking like the Starks are coming down.
Yep, they got the Starks are on their side.
They got the Starks, and then they kind of have what are the twins, right? Or the Vale.
Yep. Yep.
They could have the River people. So it's like it's shaping. It's one of those things. They don't have them yet, but it's kind of shaping up that way. And they have the whole blockade too. And then Kristen Cole's like, I don't want to go to Harrenhal right now because I don't know what Daemon has. I don't know what cards he's holding, but I know my cards ain't shit right now.
We just lost a lot that.
And he's like, I got a pair of fours. Like, it's pretty good.
Yeah,
but I don't know if
2-9 offsuit here. I don't know what to do. But like, I think pound for pound though, it's still technically the Greens, just because they have a giant army and they have Vhagar. Like that's it.
Yeah.
They have the biggest known dragon and they have a crap load of actual men when it comes to an army. So for now, it seems like the Greens are the most powerful, but it also feels like the scales are quickly shifting.
I also think if they get this mystery giant dragon to join up with Sea Smoke and you put them on Rhaenyra's team, that gives them a pretty good lead, I would think. And if they're all working sort of together, I guess the wild card would be like Daemon. Do they even trust Daemon for a second? Do they not? Like, I still think there's going to be this long play out where they have to Rhaenyra and Daemon kind of team up. Daemon thinks that he fooled Rhaenyra, and then Rhaenyra's like, I'm not fooled, and kills him. Like, knowing that, like, I can't change you. Like, you're obviously gonna try to snuff me out, because they've just built Vhagar up so big. Like, I don't think any two dragons are going to be able to defeat Vhagar. Like, you need a lot on working together.
Yeah, but if you get Vermithor, it feels like that it becomes much more realistic, right? Like Vermithor plus Cyrax plus Sea Smoke is really kind of tilting the favor towards Rhaenyra.
Unless that means that maybe Sea Smoke isn't an obvious on Rhaenyra's side. I wonder, because
but it's definitely not going to join the Greens, right? They have zero relationship with the Valerians. If anything, he would randomly join Daemon.
Right. Yeah, maybe.
Like somehow Daemon gets his hands on him, but that would be kind of like the only wild card I'd see there.
Yeah.
What's going on? And they mention Pentos or Dorne. Did they mention in this? What's going on in Pentos? That's where the bank is, right?
They were trying to send Rhaena there.
Yeah.
She's going to go with the little kids. We're going to go there. Yeah.
But clearly I don't think she wants to anymore, so I don't think she's going to get that dragon.
Where's Dorne in all of this? That's who you want on your side.
Oh, you know what?
The only time they've mentioned Dorne, I think, is the fact that Kristen Cole is Dornish. And then isn't that where Otto Hightower was supposed to be going?
Good question.
Oh, maybe. But
was he going to Dorne or Highgarden? I can't remember.
Highgarden, I think, because I think she said she sent ravens there, right? She said she sent them the couple of places. That was one of them. We're looking at a map now of Westeros.
Love that. Good job.
This is pretty good stuff too.
It's super helpful to like be able to see in relation where things are. Like Dorne, if you look at like the Iron Islands, like Dorne's super south, but the Iron Islands,
Winterfell is so north. It is wild how far it makes sense that the north is like almost its own kingdom for how far away Winterfell is from everything else.
It's like they're Alaska, and then like the rest of us are down.
I was gonna say no. It's more like if you look at Canada, like the northern part of there's all these towns like in the southern part, and then once you get past like into what they call the north, there's like nothing. It's like Montana. There could be like hundreds of miles between towns.
Yeah. And there's probably as many people in the north as there is like just in like one of these other like little cities down here.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, the Starks are coming. They're coming from the north. They're coming down through the Riverlands, so they need passage.
I like it.
Hopefully, they can secure that.
I like it very much. There's a lot going on. There always is, isn't there? A lot going on.
Chaos is a ladder.
Yeah, so basically, next episode, what are your predictions? Who dies? Who's coming out on top? Or any other bold predictions that you have for next week? Scheim?
Daemon kicks the bucket next episode.
Ooh, okay.
Daemon dies. That's my guess. He's going to be, Alice is going to tell him, it's time to mosey, and he's going to get a sword square in the back.
Or just
we never got the payoff. Remember when Rhaenyra last episode told Sir Alfred, I think it was, to go visit Daemon at Harrenhal, and that's
that didn't pay off yet.
We're like, he's gonna be the next guy to die. That fucking Sir Aaron guy. We haven't gotten that yet.
Kristen Cole's gonna go.
Okay.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Okay. Yeah.
And now does Aegon count? Because I don't think he's gonna make it out either.
Listen, he survived this episode. That was my pick last week. I thought he was gonna go in episode 6.
Because like that's the thing. Aemond could just like have him killed, and yet he just continues to pretend like he cares about his brother. And I can't actually tell if he cares about Aegon or if he's just entirely out for himself.
I think he's fucking with him. I think he's fucking with Aegon. No, because Aegon knows. As soon as he saw him, he was like, no.
Yeah, but then like as he's leaving, he even says to the Grand Maester, like, heal him up like he has a long road ahead of him.
Or just be like, and he said something about like, make sure he gets his rest, meaning like keep him in there.
Yeah,
like that's how I took it when he's like, make sure he's getting ample rest.
Like, why keep him alive? You can just off him, and then it's your job anyways. Like,
because if anything happens to him, he's suspect 1.
I think he's just playing games. I think he wanted the Maester to hear that, even though the Maester probably doesn't even believe it. Because like I want to talk to him alone, and then when he comes in, he's like fucking like pushing on his chest. He's like,
because even if he's suspect number 1, who cares? At that point, he's king. Nobody's getting. Kristen Cole's clearly on Aemond's side. Aemond has the power and Vhagar. Is anybody really going to step to Aemond at that point? Like it's.
But I think he's getting a kick out of like seeing his older brother and like messing with him when he's hurt.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and just being like, I could end this at any point. He's torturing him. He's like, I could do this at any time. I'm not going to do it though.
If he's the king, he's gonna have to choose a wife at some point too. So that'd be another power play.
Is he gonna bring back that lady that cuddles him?
That hooer?
No, I think she's gonna stay kind of off screen, if you will. And no, but I think like, is there another powerful house that they can kind of strengthen up?
I mean, there's another brother. I keep going back to it. Why mention him? This is the second time they mentioned him this season. They did it in like one of the earlier episodes, saying that he was in Old Town. Well, why bring him up now?
Maybe they bring him up just to plant the seeds, I think, for next season, because in the next 2 episodes, what if both Aegon and Aemond get killed?
Ooh.
Yeah.
And then there's
and then Darren has to come back.
And and then but if they're still in King's Landing and they're like, well, all right, next in line is this guy, like you haven't completely taken over yet, because there's going to be so many like casualties here. Like I don't think anybody's going to come out like we're great now, like move in and take over. Like everyone's going to get messed up. Like there might be all kinds of power people hurt. So I think they're just kind of planting that seed, and we'll see that little dude later on. Yeah, I thought it's solid. Next week should be insane, and we will be back for that. Any final thoughts on this one. Oh, so my prediction, I guess, for the next dead will be. I already used up Aegon, so I can't double down on Aegon. You guys want Cole and Damon. Those are good ones. Who else could get got? Maybe the guy that we love. I think big old Strong. I think Damon's gonna be mad at big
Simon
Strong.
Yeah,
that might be it for him.
Oh man,
I know.
poor bastard.
I know. He did the best he could. But anyway, let us know what you guys thought of this episode of House of the Dragon. Hit us up on Twitter and Instagram at Dork Podcast. Also, dorkpodcast@gmail.com. Davey and I will be back tomorrow night. If you're watching this or you listen to this whenever, Monday night, 9:15, double feature, The Acolyte, followed by The Boys season 4. So there's been a crazy couple of weeks in TV, but we got it all covered for you. All right, Scheim, Davey, good stuff as always. Thanks everybody for listening. Tell a friend, tell a dork, and we will talk to you soon.